My body is tired today, so I'm just gonna say what I have to say as plainly and simply as possible. There's a million spiritual concepts and stories you can tell yourself about what you have to do to be happy, or what you have to do to feel like you're one with the universe, one with God, or whatever terminology you want to use. And this very belief that you need to do something to have whatever that experience is, in your opinion, is what prevents you from realizing that you're already that. It's not a mystical, psychedelic experience. It's the most mundane, intimate experience. It is simply the experience that you are, the recognition that you exist. And that everything else that exists also is. It's that simple. The words I am precede any experience, any definition you give yourself. It is the one thing that every single being could confidently say about themselves, provided they speak English and they are capable of language. But that's not important. But just the fact that they are, everyone can recognize that. You exist. Hello, hello. It's that simple. You don't need to keep seeking some experience or some terminology or some way to describe some sort of practice. Just recognize that you exist. Everything else exists too. And it doesn't exist separately from you. Things don't exist independently in their own universe. For example, when you have a thought, do you have a little box of thoughts that you pick one from? And you think, oh, I'm gonna think it like this time. Or actually, no, I'll think it this way instead. It doesn't work that way. The thoughts just arise in you. Just as any experience does. Thinking of other ways I can describe this, but the simplest and most fundamental thing is just to recognize that you are, that you exist, and that everything else exists too. The development of a human life is an ever-expanding and sometimes contracting and expanding again definition of identity. From the idea that you are some sort of temporary body in a big world, to the understanding that you are the whole thing. And no, it isn't a mystical, spiritual experience, whatever that word means, to recognize that you are. It's the most fundamental experience ever. It's not even an experience. It's before all of your experiences. You are, you exist. That's it. That's it. God is the definition of all that is. Everything. And you are that. You are God. Not in a mystical Father in the sky way, but in the most ordinary, intimate kind of way, that you exist and everything exists. And over time you'll realize that there never was a thing to begin with. It's not two. It It may sometimes appear as two, but it's still you. And know your personality and identity isn't God, isn't some big egoic revelation. It's just the understanding that you aren't separate from everything and that you are everything. And likewise, you are no thing, nothing. Not in a depressing kind of way, like, oh, I'm nothing. But you are no thing. Because there are no things. There's only you. Pretending to be something. Instead of remembering that you're you. To know thyself, to know yourself, is just to know that you are. Before any separation, anything that you learn from your conditioning in the world of this is good, this is bad, and blah 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 blah. Me. Before you learn any of that stuff, you are. And during all that stuff, you are all the most blessed saints and the wickedest sinners are. They still are. But especially the wicked sinners, they forget that they are, and that's why they do all that wicked sinning. But I prefer not to think of it as wicked sinning and more as contrast. Contrast to knowing your being, to knowing yourself. Everything is, and you are. Not two. Because I am, and you are, I love you.